is Paul. Yeah. The most commonly used device is the telephone bug, shown in the diagram on the left. Yes. Now, as I have mentioned, I had a few phones. I had called iConnect when I lived in the fifth wheel. Yes. And I said I want to make sure I got every incoming, outgoing phone call poach. I had read someplace in one of these written statements that I was withholding the telephone from Heidi. Yes. And that wasn't true. In fact, I remember once June was on the phone and I was talking to her, and she said, "Well, it looks like he's walking through a garden." Now, wouldn't that be something if my cell phone was being used to communicate with Heidi's mother, and she could be deceased now, I'm not quite sure if she is, pooch. And I found out that they put an implant in her when she supposedly had one of her kidneys or a liver removed. Yeah. And they put her in a nursing home because she was a super top secret way of communicating because she could see through my eyes. You know, clones are not. Well, they are the newest type of surveillance technology, but they're not the first type of surveillance technology. Now, I know you're sitting there in your office, got a badge on, you got a gun, and I emailed you. It seems stupid to email. A lot of people dislike emails, but I like them because they're admissible in court. In fact, I sent an email last night that my emails were getting slashed, and it happened to be that I was emailing the email addresses of those that are police officers in Port Angeles. But instead of emailing me, recognizing that, oh, somebody's obstructing his emails, they decided they weren't going to do anything. Now, the problem with a police department that doesn't enforce the laws of the United States that could have been using surveillance technology to know what I was saying in the camera of this phone every time I made a video. They could have had the desktop that I was using at the senior center, coach. They could have had the desktop that I was using at the person's house that I've been house sitting for. In fact, they could have had the desktop of the library's computers that I'd been using. I often wonder how it is that I got served in a public library, unless, of course, you did know that I was in the library when I got served. How'd you know where I was at? You know, illegal searching and seizing of persons' personal property or where they're at is against the law. Now, as I go through every tooth of every lawsuit and liability, and I look at, well, how did you get your cavities filled? Did you have one of those mercury fillings? Yes. Now, I've read that mercury's bad for you. Okay. A lot of people, they got the mercury fillings removed, and they had that white stuff that they put in teeth. Yes! It's like not a platinum, it's not a plaque, it's porcelain fillings. Yeah! You know, it could be that your porcelain... And then there's always the gold filling. Let's say you're a sheriff or a police chief, and your gold fillings are actually connected to a super top secret Nazi frequency that no one knows about. You can talk directly into a person's brain if you know the right frequency of the right filling. Yes. Good. How's it going, Bob? Yeah, I am. I'm having a lot of fun. You know, if you're going through every tooth of every mouth that I'm suing for not enforcing the laws. Now, I know there are those that say, no, there's no possible way that they had his phone this whole time. I mean, it's been 6 years. There's no way that they would have listened in on my telephone conversations without a search warrant. Billions of dollars. Billions. Now, you do realize that when I was living on Guam, and Heidi was involved in her super top secret way of doing things, I was involved in my top secret way. I did everything normal. You get a phone, you buy some minutes, you call some people, then you wait to see who it was that was listening in on the phone call, because those that listen in on the phone calls of those that are citizens, because they're in law enforcement or oaths of office or judges and justices that think, well, we don't really need to have a warrant to tap his phone. We just tap every phone. Oh, that was a large burp. I feel like there's a baby on me someplace.